Hi, this is Stephanie Miller from The Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from my show on Political Voices Network.
The free press needs to give the people of this country assurances that they will not become state TV, that they will stand and fight together. They will put aside rivalries and petty professional differences. They will stand and fight together as the free press, as the fourth estate, as an institution that is a pillar of our democracy, as these guys on the other side inevitably start picking off individual journalists, individual publishers, individual news organizations to try ultimately to turn us all into some American accented version of RT. If the Democratic Party takes the House, expect Article 1 of the Constitution to come under attack. By which I mean expect efforts to hollow out the power of Congress, to make Congress a just-for-show institution, right? There's a reason actions of the Russian Duma never make news, right? Expect efforts to attack Article 1, to make it a just-for-show institution that has had its real powers taken over by the executive, by the dear leader. We are going to need a plan and some steel spine inserts among elected officials in Washington to head that off. We're going to need the whole country to recognize that risk in advance, to call it what it is when they try it, and to actively resist it. Depending on whether the courts can provide a check on this administration, expect Article 3 of the Constitution to come under attack as well. It is already a fetish and a laugh line on the right to brag about how court orders really mean nothing.
It's going to be that kind of morning.
The infighting has already begun.
Yeah, it's going to be that kind of morning. Great.
Look, and I'm a crying on the outside kind of clown. I didn't expect that to make me cry again. Oh, sorry. I'm really sorry. Okay. I knew I was going to cry yesterday when I watched it, but she ran a fantastic campaign. I understand the circular firing squad has started, and I get that obviously there has to be a reckoning and a conversation and a autopsy, whatever you want to call it. But even right-wing analysts were like, she could not have. Can you imagine doing that in 90 days? No. What she did, she raised $1 billion.
Yeah.
Her convention speech, she hit it out of the park. She crushed him in the debate. She was everywhere, in every swing state, on every, from Howard Stern to The View to podcasts to. I heard one douche bro go, "Oh, she didn't do enough, like bro podcasts or gaming stuff." I'm like, do you really think that was going to make the difference? I mean, I would like to refrain from blaming her because that's misogyny on top of misogyny. And I'm hoping I don't cry though. I wasn't expecting, I was expecting to read things to lift you up. How am I doing?
Oh my God. You're a mess.
I'm a hot mess. Oh God. I just, some things lifted me up I want to share.
Okay.
Our beloved, hold on.
Oh no. You can't see your paper through the tears.
Maya Angelou said, "My wish for you is that you continue to be who and how you are, to astonish a mean world with your acts of kindness. Continue to allow humor to lighten the burden of your tender heart." And that's what I would ask, and I know Barack Obama put out a statement, and first of all, he is just better than all of us.
Yeah.
Get the whole, being gracious and but you know what, Chris? Our first, what do you call it, experience with that is the right-wing callers yesterday, yeah. Right? Oh, we can't let it get a win. It's like, you start first. Right? Yeah. You be gracious winners. Yeah. If it's like now we're supposed to unite today, the day after, when you're being douchebag. Nick Fuentes tweeted, your body, my choice, always. Ha morons. I mean, really? They ran the nastiest name calling, mean, misogynistic, racist campaign in history. And today, you want us to be the ones to who's the other? I always love those morons. Speaking of name calling, the guy that was like, "Oh, well, at least gas will be cheap now and you can stop killing babies." I'm like, yeah, postmenopausal lesbians, I do that almost every hour, kill a baby, you moron. Oh my God. I just, okay.
I try not to get near babies.
Yeah. What she just said, Jojo from Jersey, our beloved, retweeted, "Only when it is dark enough can you see the stars. Let us fill the sky with the lights of a billion stars." Chris, I get we're all scared. I called the guy that owns the show that's trying to kill me for the life insurance money, which may be a wise choice at this point.
Okay.
He said, "You are no less than the third show that's called me to say, is my show over? Is my career over?" And, he said, absolutely not. But I get it, because we're all scared, of corporate fear, of who's going to shut down what, of who's going to be scared, of, And the main thing is, I understand people being exhausted, but my listeners, you're who's kept me here. If you leave me, we'll go away. Yeah. But, my feeling is we need each other more than ever now, and we've got to fight on. We've got to, and I get it. If you need some time off, if you do have to do whatever, I had a thought of suicide yesterday. I'm telling you, I'm feeling and I'm seeing that online. And I tried to respond on Twitter to people to say, I hear you. I understand, but, please stay in this fight with me. Take time if you need it. And thank you for all the people that sent such amazing, loving emails and tweets and threads, because it means the world to me, too, that we're here for each other. This isn't about me. It's this whole community that has felt, the solidarity, and we need it now more than ever. And so it's I got a lot of faults. I don't quit in me. I'm not going to quit on this country. Chris, go ahead.
No, it's like when the Sexy Liberal Show goes into red areas. The Sexy Liberal Show attracts all of the blue people in those red areas because they need somewhere to gather.
Yeah.
That's what this radio show is.
Yeah.
We are a place for like-minded people to gather.
They may have given up their principles and any values and decency to vote for this cheap, carnival-barking, criminal con man, but that doesn't mean we have to give up ours.
Right.
That doesn't mean we have to just go, oh, well, they're right. If I have to listen to Joe Scarborough screaming about trans kids,
He went on and on about that this morning. Yes.
Oh, my God. Please, let's not bully them again and make them the scapegoat here. Because it's like I keep saying, okay, I understand. Okay, I'm not a parent. If you feel like it's unfair to your kid in sports and 85% of Americans don't think, they should be able to play. But again, as I said yesterday, Chris, it affects 0.00001% of the population. And secondly, Chris, again, that's a conversation you can have around sports. But what I will say is disinformation is the bigger problem. The lies are the bigger problem. It's not that lost the election. It's that people believed this liar has culted I don't know how many millions of people into believing that schools are doing trans surgery on your child without your permission, and that Kamala Harris was personally doing trans surgery on illegal immigrants in prison. Right. You and I both go, oh, how would anybody believe that, something that ridiculous? You have to understand us. They believe anything he says.
Well, and they also spent billions and billions of dollars on ads during football games.
Yeah.
Saying
I would be against them doing trans surgery
over and over and over again
on your kids without permission. All of us would be.
They preyed upon your fear. There was an article in the LA Times, a column in the LA Times, in 2008, because of all the ads for Proposition 8. Proposition 8 passed. This time, there was a proposition to completely repeal Proposition 8. And it passed with flying colors, and there were no ads against it. In 2008, they preyed upon people's fear of gay marriage. This time, they didn't need to.
They do it every time.
They find a scapegoat every single time, and it's usually LGBT people.
Yeah. Hate and fear won this time. But you know what? It doesn't mean it's going to win forever.
Right.
I mean, it's, I loved, there's so many, I'm sorry, I did have you print the internet. Jody's going to be glad she was gone this week.
It wasn't that bad, quite honestly.
But it's just...
Don't go overboard today, though.
Sorry. I just... I'll find it. There was so much that people sent that that uplifted me that, I want to share, because I get that... And as you said, it's not an airport. You don't have to announce your departure.
Right.
But... it freaks me out for not just me and my show. First of all, I keep saying it's not just me and my show. That's why this progressive infrastructure, and I'm talking about John Fugelsang and Dino Maddow and Thom Hartmann and Randy Rhodes, and not just us, the next generation of us.
And free speech TV.
So that's why I'm saying it's most important now that we build this universe, because I hope that's something Democrats finally have learned, Chris, this information ecosystem that they have just ceded the ground to the, Fox News and right-wing radio and right-wing podcasts. And we're fighting the good fight over here, but it's only because of our listeners that we exist, that they get it. They
Sure.
support our sponsors. They,
Right.
support Sexy Liberal Tour. They support Patreon. They support Free Speech TV. I mean, it's so.
This little universe that we built was built during George W. Bush.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's the other thing. Yeah, I said online to somebody that was, I'm done. Is just we've got to find our heart and our humor again, and we will. And that's what'll get you through. Trust me. Laughter is one of the only things that is going to save us now, and get us through this.
there are other shows for serious talk.
Yeah, this is not the right place for that. But,
No.
but and I also get it if you need to take some time. But I think that was my fear. Is people are like, oh, I just don't want to, But don't worry, we don't just talk about politics. We have beaver stag. We got stories about bears.
Oh, bears.
There's,
Lots of bears. Yeah.
There's what was the whale fecal plumes we talked about last week.
Sure.
It's
Join the Patreon for that. Oh my God.
But at any rate, all I'm saying is it just, and I get it, Chris, oh my God, the whole, some people are blaming Biden for running again in the first place. He should have gotten out sooner. And some people, blaming
Everybody has a
Democrats
hot
for
take.
pushing him out. And people are blaming the media for pushing him out. And I get that's a conversation, right, that, that we have to have. But as we said yesterday, I think if it wasn't misogyny and racism, it would have been ageism, because the media did a really good job. The problem with that debate is it played into a media narrative that had been pounded into people every day. Joe Biden's old, Joe Biden's old, Joe Biden's old, he's too old. And now we've elected a demented 80-year-old criminal. I mean, it's the irony of it all.